Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in here. My name is Scott, and I'm the archivist for the Sacramento Room, the special collections of the Sacramento Public Library. I'd like to welcome you here for this special tutorial. Should be very quick that we're going through for accessing the digital version of the Sacramento Bee. The Sacramento Bee is a wonderful resource. We have coverage of it back to 1857. All the way up to roughly 2017 and the current day. It enables us as historians to be able to go back and see what folks were looking at in February 1942 or June 1914. It offers just a really nice day-to-day window into Sacramento life, national life, and also what was going on in the world at that time. Now, the Bee, which started again in 1857, prided itself on being a paper of record for Northern Californians. While not as comprehensive as the New York Times, the gray old lady and paper of record, the Bee and the McClatchy family for years dedicated itself to providing Northern Californians with a wide swath of information. So it's a terrific resource and one that I think you're really going to enjoy using and find very effective for doing research. So let's get going. I'm talking a little too much here, and boom, here we go. So this is your point of departure for getting to the Sacramento Bee. This is our homepage. A lot of great things going on in the library right now. So definitely check back after we're able to spend some time looking at the Bee. So where do we go? We're going to go to the upper left-hand corner of our page. We're going to go to books and media for starters, and then we're going to go to magazines and newspapers. So we click here, and automatically we're sent into this great list of periodical resources. And the one we're most interested in is going to be the Sacramento Bee, as you can see right here. And so we're going to go to access the archives. Okay, and this is our primary interface. And because we're interested in going all the way back, or as far back as we can, say 1857 into the 20th century, we can click right here on this first line. And just like that, we have our ability to browse on through if you want. You can see the years that are covered right here, all the way down to a given day. Sometime you should go ahead and see what was going on the day you were born. That's kind of a fun thing to do. I won't tell you my date of birth, but yeah, it's a fun thing to do. Take a look at the front page. What we want to do, however, since we have the feature of keyword searching, that's what we're going to want to do. And I always like to start off with an advanced search when I do my keyword searching. One of the neat things is you can actually limit down to a specific time frame. Okay, so if there's a point in history that you have an interest in taking a look at, you're able to sort of hem things in by a start date and an end date. And in this case, for History Day, since we're talking about History Day 2021 and the importance of communication, I'm going to look at one of the great failures in communication that launched a great tragedy, catastrophe of the 20th century, and that's the Great War. And so I'm going to start with June 1914, and I'm going to go to September 1914. Those were the crucial months leading up to the Great War. The assassination in June 1914 of Archduke Franz Ferdinand by Gavrilo Princip. And then the war starts in August 1914, the guns of August, if you will. But let's give it a little bit of space and go into September 1914. And we're not going to want to use terms like World War I or the First World War, because those are anachronistic. They didn't exist at the time, and they would have been used much later on in the mid 20th century, if you will. But we can use terms like war. We can use terms like Europe. We can use terms like Serbia or Servia. Serbia spelled with a V, like Victor, which would have been a common usage in popular press at the time. We can also use the names of players, Franz Ferdinand. We can use Gavrilo Princip. We can use the names of diplomats, Theobald Bettmann Holdweg, who would have been the German foreign minister, or the foreign secretary from England at the time, Edward Grey. I'm going to start with Bettmann Holdweg. His last name is so unique that I think all I have to do, you can see I've been doing some searching already on Bettmann Holdweg. All I have to do is put in his name, very unique, and do a search. And the hope is that I can find a primary source, a transcribed letter or some quotes, or something from the middle of the action, maybe a dispatch from London, a dispatch from Berlin, that would give it a certain immediacy to the action of the time. So let's see what we've got here. What's this? Bettmann Holdweg admits misunderstanding, which is an understatement. So we have our nice upload here. And by the way, the visibility is really quite good of this scanned content, this digital content. So here's our headline: Germany announces readiness to do her duty as ally of Austria-Hungary at the time. And here we can see quotes attributed to Bettmann Holdweg. So that really qualifies this article within a newspaper as a primary source, and something that will give us kind of a, hopefully an insight into the thinking of that foreign minister at the time. So only 4 hits. That's a little disappointing, but it's still something we can sort of cling to. I'm going to go back because I want to see what else was going on. The thinking of another diplomat, Foreign Secretary Edward Grey of Great Britain. Grey with an E. What does he have to say? So here's our search. Much better, 18 hits. We can probably think that maybe some of these hits are going to be false hits, but a lot are going to be right on. And I should actually mention right away, why did I put quotation marks around the name? I put quotation marks around the name because I want to keep those words, those keywords together as a phrase. I want Edward Grey to come up together in an article. I don't want Edward to be searching one part of the page and then Grey is another. Could be, Mr. Grey, a teacher at Sac High, or it could be, Bob Edward, who is a truck driver around Sacramento County, and this is a story about his day. We want Edward Grey, okay? And in this case, I think we're in pretty good shape. So we have quite a few hits. Let's see. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go to September 5th. Sir Edward Grey, Minister of... I think that language looks pretty good, something that can be pretty helpful to us. And sometimes there's a little bit of a slower, so Sir Edward Grey, Minister of Foreign Affairs, made a report of the war situation in part as follows. And so here's a nice excerpt out of a letter or dispatch that he wrote that we can use for our research. And our headline right here: Grey says that German militarism is the cancer that must be outrooted. So there we go, another nice primary source. Now, as a rule, you can't look at a newspaper and think right away that's a primary source. You have to consider time and place, who wrote the article, are there nuggets of quotations about a historical actor like Edward Grey within an article? That is all primary information. This is going to be useful to us and possibly be a nice nugget of info to use in a paper about communication. So how do I trap this content? How do I take it with me? I could go ahead and do a screenshot. I can also go ahead and just snip it on out. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. I'm going to click on the scissors and I'm going to select clip to download or print. And really nicely, I can go ahead and do this. I can order in, and basically download the PDF. I can also include the citation, and it can be any style I want. I think I'm going to do MLA, and I'm going to click download. And all of that is going on. And you can see right down here, and I'm using Windows 10, the article has been downloaded. And I have it all right here. The citation is printed right here. I can print it out, I can download it, and I can also go ahead and attach it to an email and send it to myself or send it to a friend. I can also go ahead and email the page. Okay, that's September 5th, 1914 page from me to me, and then go ahead and send it. So it's all very seamless, convenient, and easy to do. So as you look at this video, I want you as a historian to go ahead and think about the different topics that you might be interested in, those topics about communication that you want to tackle, and use the Sacramento Bee to try to tackle. I think the Bee is very useful in a lot of cases. It may not be useful in all cases of communication in history, but it's worth a try. It's worth a try. So one important thing before I let you go is that you need a library card or virtual library card to be able to access the Sacramento Bee. Okay, so basically, when you do try to access the Bee and you're at home and remote, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to be able to go ahead and basically use your card number and PIN to get in. And this is kind of what the prompt is going to look like, okay, when you're ready to go ahead and hop in and use the Bee. If you have questions about that, you can contact, and we can help you get that library card. You can call us at 264-2920. You can also write us at contact@saclibrary.org. So those are the basics for using the digital version of the Sacramento Bee. You can get in touch with me directly by writing me, James Scott, at jscott@saclibrary.org. I'm even going to give you my direct line within the Sacramento room. That's 916-264-2795, and I would be happy to help you. So happy searching in the Sacramento Bee. Good luck to you in History Day 2021 and all the history days to follow. And I hope to see you soon in the Sacramento room. Thank you so much for joining us.